Hey, hello everybody, back again. Scott Nelson here with our Simple Success Steps training number 3. And today is the beginning really of your lifetime future journey if you are trying to generate income in any of business opportunities, network marketing ventures that you're on. Doesn't matter. You could even be involved with traditional businesses like real estate, insurance, car sales, anything where you want to build contacts, learn how to build great relationships, and how to build your list. These are people that should be targeted prospects for whatever it is that you are currently or will in the future at any time promote, or products that you might be selling. Remember, the greatest need that we all have, those of us that are trying to make money from home, is simply being able to have people that are truly interested and want to find out more about what you're doing. Now, over the last 16, 17 years, I've been using a really simple emailing strategy that I think would be very helpful for you to learn. It's not very difficult. And I'm going to show you some of the first steps. And then tomorrow, our last training video, I will give you more information on things that you can do so that you'll never, ever in the future, if you do this every day, you can do it and complete it in 15 to 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes at the most. It does not require really any technical skill, and it will yield results that will change your results and income in any business, product, services that you're promoting or pitching out there, and also will help you learn very, very good skills as you write short emails and follow up. I recommend on every prospect that asks you for information. Even if they don't take part, do everything you can to build relationship. And really, what we're going to start on here today in training number 3 is really where the rubber meets the, I put world, but I'm going to change that to the old one, which is where the rubber meets the road. Now it's your decision. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about getting started, getting prepared for powerful changes that over the next few months, if you do this consistently, use these tips that you are and have received in this 4-part video series, should be very, very helpful and should yield really powerful changes in your life, your income, and your confidence. And really, there's nothing more required to be successful than just to be able to learn this, review it, practice, change up your email responses and your non-spam emails that I'm going to share with you some examples, and just get a little creative and remember the tips. I call it KISS. KISS, that stands for Keep It Simple Smarty. I'm not going to say, usually people would say it's Keep It Simple Stupid, but I think you're all very smart because you're taking the time to watch this short video training series and implementing this to your daily routine, and it will change your life forever. So really what's required is consistency. Take whether you work 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. For the last 15 years, pretty much every time I am building a new business or promoting something, I have always done this a minimum of 5 to 6 days every single week. And I've done it if I'm with a company, if it stays in business or it's a good company and they stay around, I'll do this for as long as I am an active member of the company. If it's a product that I like and I'm promoting, I'm going to get the word out there every single day. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for people who are interested what I'm doing. I'm not looking for people like my dog, my cat, my sister, my 94-year-old grandma. I'm looking for people who are targeted people who are interested in what we do. So for those of you that are in network marketing, direct selling, I'm with a company called On Passive, which is an online marketing and income generation platform that helps us to automatically build our list. So I am looking for people that are involved in any sort of online network marketing, affiliate marketing, Amazon marketing, product sales, real estate, insurance agents, car dealers, anybody who is looking to build a targeted list of prospects. And then I'm going to seek out databases, and I have those available. I sent out an email yesterday. If you did not receive yesterday's email about the list that are available to help you get started, for those of you that want to get a jump start, then please watch and review the video I sent you out yesterday. And if you would like, you can send me, if you didn't get it, just send me an email back and I will send you a copy of that. We have, I think, about 20 or 19 left now. Once they're gone, they're gone. This list that I have is my own personal database that I've acquired through various sources. It's verified, scrubbed, and very clean data. You can't buy it. And basically all I'm doing is trying to help those of you that need a list to get started, since many of you have told me you just don't have contacts. So otherwise, today, or not so much today, but tomorrow, training number 4, we're going to talk about free methods that you can build your list. Just keep in mind it's going to take a longer period of time to build it that way. But if you do it, maybe you invest a little bit more time, maybe an hour or maybe 2 each day, and you can do it as often and as long as you want. These free methods can be very, very helpful in building your contact list, and you can choose exactly the type of people that you are trying to reach. And when you reach out to them virtually, once they give you permission, you are going to use the same steps if you are emailing, and it's really very simple to do. So let's get started here, and let's take a look at a demonstration of the first steps to success in 15 to 20 minutes today. So let's just say that I have a database, which is for me and this platform, simply email addresses. Now, there are really good databases through the guy that I have been getting mine from, and he also, when he sells his database, which by the way is about 3 times more than I'm making the limited amount of my data available for, just because obviously most of you are in OnPassive, and my commitment obviously is to help you to grow the OnPassive platform. But this is a generic free training that I'm giving away to anybody that wants it. So if you're seeing any of this over on YouTube in the future or now, and you would like a copy of this, all you need to do is contact me. There's my email there at scottcarlnelson@gmail.com, and just say, can I get a copy of your Simple Success Steps training? And I will make sure I get it out, okay? So I am including a document to this, that when I send you this training number 3, there will be an attachment that will have what I'm about to share with you, which is our non-spam email and reply examples. So the system is really, really simple to understand. So let me see if I can get, oops, go back here. Oh, sorry about that. I got to get on Word. There we go. Let me go down here and pull. Okay, let's blow that up a little so you can see it. Okay, so when I have leads, people that have an interest in, that I've acquired, people that have an interest in acquiring information for a particular offer. Let's say it's a business opportunity like OnPassive, or maybe I'm selling some health and nutritional products. Maybe I am promoting an affiliate link or an affiliate business online. It doesn't matter. Once I have database, that's email addresses using the system, I am going to be starting to reach out, and I recommend sending out um, initially probably start with 100 to 200 emails a day. Now, that might be overwhelming, but please don't freak out because I'm going to show you exactly how simple it is. And just so you know, the first contact after they actually request information. So we're going to do what we call permission based email. And so I am going to take my list and I am going to basically send the same, what I call non-spam emails. Non-spam emails are what you use for your very first contact when you're reaching out to the email addresses that you have purchased or that you have a list that you want to send it out to. These should be people that are focused, targeted people. So if you're building a network marketing business or on passive, any business opportunity, entrepreneurs will work for this particular example. So this non-spam email, and I'm going to show you and attach this document, is your first contact. So it must be written very carefully. Be careful to avoid spam triggers or words that can trigger email providers' spam detectors. Now, I do use some, but if you don't use more than a couple in a short email, you should find that your deliverability rate should be pretty good. But guard against using the words business opportunity, MLM, network marketing, earn money, awesome opportunity, online marketing, things like this. Remember, the non-spam email should not ever sound like a sales pitch. These emails and messages need to be professional. There's nothing wrong with letting them, and they should sense a level of excitement, but never be hypey. Differentiate yourself from others who are spamming everybody they can. They do not have credibility by posting links when you haven't even started to ask permission. Never use in the non-spam emails. You'll see in the examples, I never use the name of the company, never use a name of a product or service. I never use any links, not even my own email link or phone number in the non-spam. The only thing you want at the end of is to thank them for their inquiry and sign it with your first and last name. If you want, you can just use your first name, but I always use my first and last name. Never use email addresses or phone numbers on this first email. This is why you're going to have much better success. Maybe you could reach a few more flaky type people if you were all hypey, made promises, but there's a couple of things that happen when you use the spam and stuff like that. Number one, you don't get results. It goes into their junk folder and it will never get read. Make sure that you have as short but yet catchy heading in your subject line, because remember that you only have about 7 seconds if somebody opens your email to catch their attention and have them that will enable them or will allow them, or if they choose, to read your email body. Because if they don't go beyond the subject line, and if you can't create curiosity, they're probably just going to delete it, especially when they look at it and they don't really recognize your name. And maybe sometimes if they don't get your reply right away, they don't even remember requesting information. Okay, so so here's how we start. I have a list of 5,000 email addresses, and so I am going to send out 200 emails per day. Now, do a little less when you start. If you are using Gmail and you send out spammy emails with spammy titles in the subject line and links and those spammy trigger filters. I think Google Gmail is one of the toughest. So when I show you exactly how to do this, make sure that you keep your bunches of emails that you send. I would say if you've never done any emailing using Gmail, until they get to know you more, I would send maybe 10 to 15, maybe 20 at the very most in the BCC. I'm going to give you a demo so I know some of this terminology might not make any sense. So you can see in this first example, it says the heading is, "My hands are free today." Now that may sound stupid, but when somebody looks at that, it's different than what they're used to seeing by bulk emailers, which are, "Hey, get rich today." And that's why they all go into the spam folder, or the majority. But when they look at this, it's kind of a little catchy title. I'm not saying use it, but play around with different subject lines. Just make it, imagine what it would take for you to open the email up and to read it. And so for me, I like to make a little continuation once they do open it up. So let's look at it from the subject line. The subject line says, "My hands are free today." And then where the body of the email begins, it's a continuation. You don't have to do this, but I have pretty good success, and I play around with my non-spam emails all the time. So make sure you put some thought into creating your own, and then keep a record of what you've been using, and the ones that you get higher responses from, make sure you hold on to. So listen how this reads. "My hands are free today," and then in the body, "to show you something so simple and life-changing you will be shocked. Hands-free, an effortless platform that will not only transform your business, but your lives and your financial situations completely. We are going live in the very near future, and I would love to help you starting today." This company, you can use the words platform. In fact, I like the word with on passive, so I'm going to change that. This platform has been in the making now, could be like in the design stage or whatever you want to word, for nearly 18 months, and it's now nearing time to come forth and change marketers' lives quickly. There is a limited window of time to join as a founding member and enjoy some very unique benefits that will come with joining me or joining us. You always want to proofread, so I'm going to take out the us because it's more personal. Now, I have the information. You could put "I have information," but I have the information that will help you to find out more, and probably don't even need it, but I'll leave it. Simply reply with your request for information, video, and details, and it will be on its way right away. Sincerely, Scott Nelson. See what I mean? No links, no word on passive, nothing. Doesn't sound spammy, doesn't sound like I'm overly excited. I'm just providing information, and I'm asking them, hey, and if somebody ever emails you in some well, and I always, and I'll show you what I mean, but I always make sure I have a removal, removal request option at the bottom of my emails when you do this email marketing platform, because you're not trying to get people mad. Some people goes, "Hey, where'd you get my information?" Just reply back to them in a loving, kind way and say, "I have a database of people that have apparently been involved in some sort of a home-based business or network marketing opportunity. But if you would like to be removed, just let me know and I will remove you immediately." Remember, most people won't do that, but always give people an opportunity to request, and then make sure you go to the database that you're using and delete their file. If they don't request, leave them on there, because even if the 1% that do respond. That means 99% that don't. That's about the average. 0.5% to 1% maybe will respond to this first email. So you're only playing a numbers game. If you've got 5,000, you have one of my list of 5,000 database, and you get, let's say, 1% when you go through the entire list that ask for more information, they now have given you permission based. And now you have the right to include your information. And I'll show you an example in just a moment of what a permission-based response looks like. So this is non-spam. And here's a couple of other examples. Number 2, look at the subject line. It would be a bad choice. Well, what does that mean? Some people will go, what? What is this? I've never seen a subject line. It would be a bad choice. And then I use a continuation in the body of the email to miss what I want to show you right now. Imagine a soon-to-be birth platform that will allow anyone who is doing business online or offline that will, and then just not bullet points, not numbers. Remember, simple email. I don't want to attract attention. I want to look ordinary. Use automated technology to build big list, and down line I separated the words, so hopefully that will get through the spam filters. Teams automatically. These would normally be numbered the way that most people would write this, but I'm doing this differently. Require no technical computer skills or abilities in order to succeed. Allow 100% of everyone to enjoy complete success from home without ever worrying about failing. Literally, do it all for you and eliminate the need for selling, convincing, or recruiting others. It's truly surreal. We are about to go live and on the air soon, and there is still time for you to come with us as a founding member before we go live, and these positions come with many benefits that you will like very much. If you would like to see a bit more, just reply to me back and request a bit more information. You can see it for yourself. Here always, Scott Nelson. Once again, no email, no links, no name, just my name. And of course, when I send them the email, they'll be able to respond back to you because my email comes from either my Outlook or my Google Mail. And then the final example of the non-spam is, what's the difference? Okay, now it is a little different. I don't continue that. I go, we can all make the choice, success or defeat in our various home business. There is a reason that you have not reached your full potential in your company. And I can change that. I think I like with. So that's why I never proofread these this morning. So make sure you proofread, spell check, because I'm a terrible speller too. You want it to look professional and flow very easily. Because remember, even though they opened your email, they're only going to give you 5-10 seconds. Something has to make them take the time to expose themselves to getting some information. And that means you got a pretty good targeted prospect if they email you back and request information. So you can see in that example, I don't need to read it, but you can go through it. It's a little longer. I like to keep them at usually about that length right there, because when people open it and they see 2 pages of writing, they won't even start. Nope, I don't have time. If I'm busy, put it in the junk or put it in the trash and go on. This is just another crummy, spammy email. Okay? Once somebody requests information, you will get requests that in the subject line, it might say, send info. I'm talking about the heading. It doesn't mean they're going to write anything in the body. What you're looking for is make sure you check your email, and if they do include their name, their email address, of course you'll have. If they include a phone number, make sure you add it immediately into your list, because remember, what we're doing here is we are building a list. So remember, every single time you go to your email box or your Facebook wall and somebody has spammed you, We're going to talk a little bit more about this tomorrow in video number 4, other ways to build your list. But a lot of times you'll get an email back and they have a signature on their email. So when they respond back, even if in the subject line it says send info or send information, you'll know you have now been given permission. Make sure you get their information. If they give you their name and their phone number, add that with the email already. Don't wait. Go to your list and add it. So you have that. Now you've got a prospect for life, okay? And remember that include a remove link and we'll show you. Okay, and then finally when they do, immediately. So I check when I'm marketing every day. Now I'm home full time and you may be working a job, but definitely if you can on your break or your lunch break or whenever you go get coffee or whenever you can, don't take away from your responsibility of honoring your boss because they're paying you to be there. Don't interfere with that. But do try to check. If you are, let's say you're getting up an hour before you leave for work and sending out 100, 200, even 300 emails a day with the non-spam, you're going to get maybe 1, maybe none, maybe 5, depending on how good your initial letter or email, your non-spam email is, how good your subject line is, how many opens you get. Obviously, the better you get, and this is why you want to play around and I would say at least 2 or 3 times a week, change up your non-spam email because that's the most important one. Once you get permission, then you can do what you want. But also, in this example, after the lead or the contact replies to you, the examples, of course, are above, you don't have to worry because they've now given you permission and they can never accuse you of spamming them, okay? Then you can send whatever type of information, including websites, links, conference calls, live webinars, recorded webinars, YouTube video. Just keep it short, non-spammy, and professional. Don't sound like the rest of the world and put 30 links in there. That's tiring. Most people will not watch a video unless it captivates them that is any longer than usually 3 to 5 minutes. If they are interested, if they watch a little a flash video, 1, 2, 3 minutes, that gives enough information to entice them, then they'll spend more time watching maybe a 20 or 30-minute overview. But I recommend the first thing you send them, if you can find just a short little video. I know that if you're in on passive, we will have many different marketing videos and short videos that you can send. And then if they want more information, obviously, you can include a second link if you'd like, okay? But keep it short, no more than maybe 3 to 5 short paragraphs, 1 or 2 lines each, no more than 2 links, maybe a website link. But remember, you just want to get them information. So maybe you put, number 1, start with this 2-minute brief video introduction. See if it's something that you might be wanting to find out more. If so, proceed to item number 2, which is the information page. With OnPassive, I use either my own recorded overview, which is a bit long. It's about 30 minutes, and I need to work on a shorter one. But nonetheless, I use it because it's my voice, and because I do a lot of my own videos, I use that talent. But for most of you, you don't have maybe your own video, so you can use mine. Certainly, just make sure that if you get a copy, it does not have my OnPassive enrollment link, because you don't want people watching my video and then clicking on my link. So be careful if you use anybody else's video that they're in the comment boxes or embedded at any part of the video, any other link, you will be giving your signups away. So be very, very careful about that. So when I share my OnPassive business, I usually send either one of my own 20 to 30-minute video presentations, or I use one of my presentation pages in the back office under presentation pages, because not only does it have a short little 2-minute sizzle video, then it has some written information about GoFounders and OnPassive, but it also has ashes 2 videos, and finally my overview. Now remember, I don't use that alone because that's way, in my opinion, that's too much information. So remember, we do have that little 2 or 3 minute sizzle presentation. Make that, and make sure you tell them start here. This is like a 2-minute little overview, not a lot of information, but it should help you to determine whether you want to watch a few more videos to get more information. Okay, so as you can see here down in this example, I only did one. You can be creative. What I want to do is, I don't want to be flashy. I don't want to overwhelm the prospect with 3 or 4 or 5 links. It's too much information. So in the subject line, professional, I say, hey, Mark, or Mark, here is the information you asked for. Very, very simple. See how I say spell check? There. Spell check your replies. Look professional. Prospect's first name in the body. Mark, thanks for your request, or thank you for your request. My name is Scott Nelson, and we live up in the beautiful state of Idaho in a small little town of 200 people called Hope. I have been working from home full-time now for the last 27 years and absolutely love it. It seems funny to me still when people ask me what I do for a living, and I respond, I have not had a job, and see how that should be in quotations, because that's what I respond to. I have not had a job for over 20 years. Anyways, my passion is to help others to get better results in their businesses, online and offline, and I think I have come upon the perfect platform. The company is, remember, they've given you permission, so now I can use the name of product, opportunity, company that I want. The company is OnPassive, and the marketing platform they have been and are still developing is proprietary and state-of-the-art technology that I believe will shake up our industry forever. I would like to invite you to get into a quiet spot and review the following presentation and information page carefully. And then I would love to make myself available to answer any questions you might have, or even get on chat or phone together, as I have always enjoyed getting to meet new and like-minded people from all over the world. OnPassive is nearing its official launch soon, and the great news is that we are still allowing new founding members to pre-register now for a very short period of time before we go live. Here is the link for my presentation and information page. And then you can just put your link in here. I would choose in this example to take a OnPassive presentation that makes sure that before I post any link, I review and find the one that works best and I like the most. And I prefer the one that has the little short 1 or 2 minute video at the top, and then it's got some text that just says, some bullet points about what this platform will do. And then it has the first 2 videos that Ash did last year that talk about the vision, and then a little bit more about why he did what he did and how's it going to work. And then I think the 3rd video is one of my business overview presentations. That's what I would use, and that would be it. See, I've already said you get back to me after you review and we can talk further. And then just sign it, looking forward to visiting soon. And then I put now, remember I put my email because it's at the top. I don't have to put it down here, but now I've got my full name, the name of my company, the 1 or 2 links max that you want to use, and for me, I like to use my phone number. Why? Because I want to build relationship. We're going to talk about that more in video number 4. But the relationship, as we even covered in the first 2 videos, is the key to your long-term relationships, okay? And that is so important, is to have those relationships. Okay, so now you've got any questions, of course. I'm going to move into in the next, I'm going to try to keep this to no more than 10 more minutes. So bear with me. And there's my email. You can email any questions from training number 3 if you need some help in reviewing this. Also remember that if you are wanting to take advantage of the leads database that I'm releasing to people, I have about 19, I think, 18 or 19 now, 5,000 scrubbed, clean, deliverable personal database that you can purchase. And I have done a video that explains why you might want to. If you want free methods, I understand there's a lot of people. This is a free, completely free, no obligation training to help you. And for those of you that just don't have a budget to get yourself jump started, I totally get it, and we will cover other lead generations systems that you can use to build your database. It just takes quite a bit longer, but don't worry about it. We will get there. So if you are tight in funds, then I totally understand. But the database that I'm selling is absolutely inexpensive, and the data that you'll get can never be duplicated. It will belong to you, and it is below 60-70% less than you could ever hope to get this type of accurate, scrubbed, verified email addresses, which simply mean you have a much higher probability of them getting into the email box. Okay, so I'm going to go, because I use, but for this example, I'm going to go over and I am going to use Google Gmail as we know it. I don't use it because I realize that if I send too many people in Gmail, they will bounce every single email back, and then I'll have to do it again. But remember, they're watching you, so if you've never done any sort of email marketing, start slow. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take one of those emails. If I can, I don't know if I can copy. Let me see here. Maybe I can. So let's just take this one. So I'm going to take the heading, "My hands are free today," and I'm going to go back over, and that is going to go in the subject line. Okay, and then my lead in your database is going to look like this. That's how your file is going to look. It's going to come like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, let's just say, that email may success. Well, you don't have to even worry about that. But what I'm going to do is I am going to go and I'm just going to put, for an example, Joe Blow at gmail.com. Okay, remember I pasted that particular example. I'll go back and get that. Let me see where to go. Oh, okay. Now I want to take the body from the bottom with my signature all the way up to where it starts, not the subject line, but the body. Go back over to your Gmail and then paste that. I'm on an Apple, so it's Command V, and then you can paste it. So there is the way it looks, because you see it looks just the same. If you want to change the font or you want to make it smaller, just highlight the body. Go down to, this is Google, so if I want to change the type, maybe a little bit less bold, and then if I want to change the size, I can go to normal. Oops, I didn't highlight it. I can go down to the text size, go to normal. Okay, so that looks a little bit less obtrusive and spammy. I just hope people have a good enough eyes. They can always Command plus, and it can become a little bit bigger if they have problems reading it. But that's how it's going to look. Okay, now I don't put anybody's in my, you know how up here it says from Scott, but when it comes to, so I don't put the leads, any leads names in that column. So over here, I would send it to myself, maybe at my other email address. The reason I do this is because I'm sending, 20, 30, 40, 50 at a time because I've been doing it so long, and I use Outlook and they let me do that. But you can't do that for the most part unless you have been marketing. So what you do if you're using Gmail is you go up here. This address will be yourself or your own email address. Don't send anybody's, because if it's in the TO column, then everybody can see it. So you wouldn't want 10 or 12 or 20 addresses because it will go into the spam box. When you use the BCC right here, BCC stands for blind carbon copy. So you click, and now you notice below your name, you want to always, this is huge, never, ever do any emailing until you hide all of your prospects. So let me go and grab one of my leads list. Let's see here. There's my old. Okay, so you can see here, here is, let's just go up to this last one. So let's go up to that database. So there is, let's do 10 emails. So let's do 135 through 146. Copy. See how I copied that? Now it's showing me that is 10 emails, right? Okay, so now I go back over to my thing and I put my cursor in that box so it's blinking, and then I want to paste it right in there, and that's what it looks like. Okay, and so this is a great example. I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like say I have 12, and that should still be okay. But I would say start out 5 to 10 each time you do. Now, what do I want to do to make it really simple? Because remember, I said you can do this in 5 to 15 or 10 to 15 minutes a day. Watch. Okay, so I've got the subject, my hands are free today, the body without any spam, and my name. And look, in your email signature, you can type whatever you want. It says, if you'd like to be removed from our contact list, please simply reply back with remove. Thank you. That way, you're never going to get in, even though they are on a database, they have not officially asked you for any information. This is why we call it non-spam. This does not look spammy. And remember, if they ever ask you where you got their contact information, you say, I have a database of people like yourself who supposedly, remember, you're not going to assume, supposedly you've been involved in some sort of affiliate marketing, direct selling, or network marketing opportunity. That's all you need to reply. Plus, they have been offered the ability to just request that you remove. So let's say that I get an email back from Deb at MV Sales. Remember the database I have open? I go back, I look, there it is, Deb at MV Sales. I go like that, I highlight her, I go up in my Excel file, I go up to edit. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to delete her, but if I delete her, it's going to give me a box that says shift cells up. That means it will take out her information. And then if you hit OK, it will eliminate her. And once you eliminate her, then it's going to move everybody up, and you will, at the end of your session, I recommend going up to your file when you're done for today's work, come and use save as, because when you save as, it's going to ask you, there it is, there's old Divi database, the date I just updated it. is going to change to today. So I'm going to put today is the 2nd of July, 2019, and I'm storing it to my database, or right now I would obviously save it to my desktop so it can open it back up. If I'm working through a database, I don't want to save it and put it back in its folder until I've worked through the entire list. And the last day, I always want to change the date each day, because remember, I told you that when you own database, it's yours. You own it. I mark it to the same databases, sometimes 3, 4 times, 5 times a year. Maybe it's a different product, a different opportunity that they haven't seen, especially as you build database. That's how you build businesses. That's how you build business partners, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and cancel that and go back. Okay, so now what would I do? Well, I want to do what? 10 more. So go to 125, copy, go down to 134, copy that, go back over to your file. Okay, this has already been sent. Okay, you can see I always send it to myself. I can go back over and I can copy that message. I don't have to copy the remove at the bottom because it's already there. Okay, go back to compose, paste it in. I'll show you how to do it a little faster because I just need to go back over, and I can just take that header, copy this. Okay, paste that into the subject. Remember, never send anything to anybody on your list to this too. It goes to yourself. Okay, and then click on BCC, go back over to your leads list, copy, go back over to your BCC, press it like that. Okay, then a quick way of doing it is before you send it, the last thing, go back, copy your body, and then send. Okay, now all I have to do is just go back into a new body and paste that. Minimize this for a sec. Go back up here. This is your header. Open back up this message here. Place that right there. Remember, recipients, S. Nelson, that's me. There's the BCC. Go back over. Go back up to, let's say I want to do 15. You can increase. It's probably not going to be too long where you'll notice that all of your emails that you just sent out over the last 15 minutes bounce back because Gmail suspects you of spamming, and then send. So don't freak out. Doesn't mean you can't go back, but remember that if you have not done any marketing in the past through emailing, especially with Gmail, start in the BCC with maybe 10. That's usually pretty safe. And start in your first week or two. Do no more than 100 at a sitting. And if you're going to do it more than once a day, which I really don't recommend, maybe do 100 or 50 or whatever in the morning, when you get up before you go to work. And then when you get home from work, sit down for 10 more minutes and do 100 more. And the key is constantly be looking at your email, because you're going to get people, even out of that 30 I just sent, I think I'll probably end up getting maybe 1, maybe 2. But if I got 1, that would be amazing, because that just took me about 5 minutes to do it. How many of you would generate 30 leads in 2 or 3 minutes a day? Okay, so that's the simplicity of sending out your non-spam email. And then when somebody writes back and they say send info, then you go back in, you've already got their information. Then what you should do is you should always have Excel or whatever way to keep track of your records. You keep this open, and what I do really simply is the first column I use, if I have, obviously, their name, if I have it. So I might put the header up here and then skip a column and go to email, address, and then you can always go up here and expand this if you don't have quite enough room in there. If the emails addresses are longer, just pull your columns over, okay? Just remember that. Okay, and then the E column, which is the next one, oops, here I would put phone number. And then any other notes you make, you can do that and add it over here. And then skip a line, and then, it would be like this: Joe Blow, Joe Blow at gmail.com. And if I had Joe's, now remember, it doesn't fit in there, so pull it over to try to get the whole email so it's easy to read. And then the phone number, 209-322-1177. And that's pretty much it. And every time you get a response and you send back a reply, the letter that gives them the information that they've asked for, you've taken as much information that you can gather. Some of the lists that I've had are mostly emails. In email marketing, they don't always give you the information because they might reply back and they say send info. You send info, and if they don't take the time to watch it or ever get back to you, then you won't have any other information. If they don't sign their email or it doesn't have the information in the body, you'll only have the email address. So, sometimes you might just want to start, if you're getting mostly that, you can just eliminate the name. I prefer to do this, and then if they only give you email only, you just leave that blank, and you can figure out this is just the email address that you're going to use. But I always, and I'll talk more about it tomorrow in training 4, because we're getting up to about 45 minutes to an hour long today. And I knew these last 2 trainings are meaty and there's a ton of information, but this is where, like I said, the rubber meets the road. So you don't want to miss any details. You can certainly email me for your questions if you don't understand. We will also do the last live webinar at the conclusion of you receiving all 4 video trainings. Plus you can review it over and over. But remember, this is your marketing list. So what I do each day when I'm done adding to it, remember, you receive an email from Mary Johnson and she tells you about her brand new herbal or nutrition company. There's a couple of things you do. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But the goal that you have is to fill as many of these 3 blanks as you can. If you can get good enough, you're going to notice that before you know it, maybe 6 months or a year from now, doing this every day, you're going to be so good at building relationships that at the end of a year, you're going to have hundreds, maybe even thousands of people on your list. But what I do each day, I go to File, and I always use Save As because I want to know where I'm saving it and what it is. So this would be, let's say I'm teaching Joe's new marketing database. And what's today? 7/2/19. And you can save it. I like to save it to my desktop because it's easy to get to. So I click on desktop, right? Up here, desktop, it's in Excel, XLSX form. I can change that, I'm sure, to CSV if I want. I like CSV a little bit better right there. That's just called comma separated, okay? And then I can save it wherever I want, any folders, desktop, any folders you have, and then save, okay? Now, I can minimize this, but I don't need to because it was just an example, and there it is. So you see how it's up here? So it's really easy, and you want to make sure it's easy, and here's the reason why, is because if I get an email, let's say I go to my Facebook page and there's an email with a link, I still have that person's name. And if I go to their Facebook page, especially if I am a friend of theirs, then I'm going to teach you more tomorrow. I might go, let's just say I go to Facebook. Right here. I go to Facebook. And let's say, let me look for, let me see if I can find somebody that I know is a friend. Somebody that truly I haven't talked to. Scott Donahue, I think. If I click on there, you see where it says friends? So when I'm a friend with him, I'm not going to spam him, but I'm just going to maybe put a note. This is a simple way to get contact. Hey, Scott. It's Scott Nelson. Are you in the USA? I thought I had your contact info, but must have lost your email and phone. I am not soliciting anything, just wanted to update my contact file. And just go ahead and send it. And if he wants to write back and he does, or he doesn't want to write back, he's going to tell you. But you can also go to his Facebook page. Click up here if you want. And it will take you here. And you can see he lives in Tasmania. So he would not be a great, that's Australia. And so I really don't want to get a phone number, but if he has, now I could go back here and I could go, I see that you are in Taz. So if possible, let's exchange on WhatsApp, which is an international Now, the reason I did that, because now I don't want to be stupid, because he is a friend and he's right there, he's going to know what? Oh, he didn't even look at my Facebook page to find out where I live. Remember, it's all about the little things you do so you don't have to rush around. Now, when he sees this, it's probably the middle of the night, late night there. So when Scott checks this, probably sometimes, if he remembers me as being a friend and remembers my name, he'll probably not feel threatened to do that. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for the email, and we'll try to review this on the live webinar on the 14th of July, so you won't feel that you forgot, but you have a copy. It's, remember, when you start each day, you go to your leads list. There it is. Okay, you leave that open, just minimize it, and you go to your Gmail or whatever email provider. I use Outlook because I can send up to 50 at a time, and I usually do 500 a day because I want larger numbers. And as you build your relationships, let's say you start at 100 a day, you do 10 at a time, it will take you about 5 or 10 minutes. And then you do that for a week or two, and then go ahead and bump it up to 15 or 20. But I would never say go over 25. And that's after you've been doing this for at least 1 or 2 months. That way they know. But once anybody, including myself, gets above 25 or 30, you do that about, let's say I was doing 300, they'll usually start bouncing things back, and it will look like all your emails are bad, but they're really not. So just remember that. The emails are not bouncing because the emails are bad. It's because Gmail has suspected you of spamming. Okay, so that's not the one I want. Where is my other? Okay, so we saw these examples, and remember, when I send this video to you, you're going to have the attachment, which is all of these examples that you use. So make sure with your non-spam emails, change them up, get original, have really good non-spammy titles. My Hands Are Free is one I use, but I rotate around and I write different ones every week because it doesn't take long. No websites, no links, no names of the company, your signature only, no phone numbers. That's a non-spam. When they reply, then create a little tidbit of building a relationship, introduce yourself. Don't get there, oh, here's my links, go here, because now you sound like everybody else. And then paste that. And remember, check your emails. If you're doing this like I do, I check my email at least 4 or 5 times a day, because if I don't respond for a day or two, I'll guarantee there's a 90% less chance of them remembering anything. It's like strike when the coals are hot or when the iron is hot. This is so important to remember. I think I have that simple steps information. So we're going to work tomorrow really a lot more on how to build your list in other simple methods, but this is by far, over the last 15 or 16 years, has been by far, as long as you have good, solid, targeted, interested prospects. And that's one of the reasons I'm so excited about the OnPassive platform, because can you imagine what's going to happen when OnPassive is launched and you're going to be able to have targeted traffic coming to your OnPassive website, signing up or registering for free. Once they go to your website, you're going to have their name and email and maybe even their phone number. And that as we go further, when OnPassive launches, the purpose of OnPassive is to make it more data. You want to build that list as big as you can, and like you have right now at GoFounders. If you are a founding member and you go over to GoFounders over here, log in. If you are, for those of you that aren't, this won't make any sense, but you go to GoFounders, and here's where you can go to your invitees. These are people that have already opted in, and it doesn't matter how long, they're still database. So you can just go in here, and even though you don't have their phone numbers, you can go in here and you can go through page after page as you build it, and people opt in to this page. You're going to be able to go and have all of this in OnPassive like we do right now in GoFounders. So that's another way. So every time, let's just say that I went over to my Facebook page, and let's get rid of Scott there. If I go back here, you can look, and sometimes this guy, I can tell you right now, here's the way that most people market. This guy, I accepted his friend request. See, I said, okay, I'll be your friend. He doesn't know me, and I don't know how he's going to respond, but I want to engage him because this is part of what we're going to cover tomorrow. Hello, Jim. And that's all I'm going to say. Let's hear what he has to say. You won't get it today, but I'll try to remember to go back to Jim tomorrow, and hopefully we'll see what his next response, because we're going to talk about social media marketing tomorrow, and we're going to show you some free ways to build your list. But anytime anybody sends you an email pitching you, I don't care how bad they are, or on Facebook or Twitter or whatever social media, that is gold. You just have to engage them and build a relationship, and then get their information slowly but surely and build a relationship, and then add them to the list. That's the simplicity. This is very, very exciting. So I think we'll keep it there for now. It's been a long training. When we send training 3 out, you will have a copy attached. There'll be your video training, the recorded video training with the YouTube link, and then make sure you open the attachment and save your video training and all of the documents that go with it, and keep them in a folder or a place that you can access them very easy. So that's what I got for right now. I'm thrilled that you took the time to watch this. I hope this has been helpful, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow on training number 4. Thanks a lot.